And the day will come when AI will do all the things that we can do. Not just some of them, but all of them, anything.
That in the next 1 year, the vast majority of programmers will be replaced by AI programmers. Because remember, the computers are now doing self-improvement. They're learning how to plan, and they don't have to listen to us anymore. We call that superintelligence, or ASI, artificial superintelligence.
In June, a man in a red robe walked up to a podium in Toronto. He co-founded OpenAI. He almost never speaks in public. He told a room of graduates that AI will do everything they can do. Not some of it, all of it. Then the man who ran Google put a clock on that sentence. 1 year, 3 years, 6. And neither of them thinks anyone is going to stop it. Start with who is on that stage because it changes how the words land. Ilya Sutskever co-founded OpenAI and was its chief scientist. He is the reason that company bet everything on scale. And Toronto isn't a random stage. It's where this era started. In 2012, he and 2 others trained a neural network at that university and entered it in an image contest. It got 15.3% wrong. The next best system got 26. That gap is what convinced the whole field to throw everything at one idea. He left OpenAI in 2024 to start a company with one goal and no product. So a 6-minute convocation speech isn't a press tour for him. And then he gives his reason. It's 1 sentence long.
How can I be so sure of that? The reason is that all of us have a brain, and the brain is a biological computer. That's why. We have a brain, the brain is a biological computer. So why can't a digital computer, a digital brain, do the same things?
The brain is a biological computer, so why can't a digital one do the same things? That's not poetry. It's a claim about materials. Every joke you have ever made came out of 1.5 kilos of wet tissue running on about 20 watts. No magic was added anywhere. It's physics, doing arithmetic in a strange shape. So, if a machine made of meat can do all of that, the burden of proof flips. You would have to explain what your neurons do, that no physical system could ever copy. Nobody has a good answer. 3 steps, no mysticism, and it has been sitting there since the 50s. Then he says something you almost never hear from someone in his position.
But it's also very difficult to imagine. It's very, very difficult to imagine. It's very difficult to internalize and to really believe on an emotional level. Even I struggle with it. And yet, the logic seems to dictate that this very likely should happen.
The man who spent a decade building it says the logic forces the conclusion, and it still doesn't feel real. You can agree with every step, close the tab, and go make dinner. That's not stupidity. It's what brains do with things that have no reference point. So that's the argument. Notice, there is no date in it. For dates, you need the other man in this video. Eric Schmidt ran Google for a decade and chaired America's Commission on AI and National Security. He isn't a researcher. He is the man between the labs and the government. You heard his first number already. 1 year, and most programming is done by machines. This is where that number comes from.
So the evidence and the claims from the research groups in OpenAI and Anthropic and so forth is that they're now somewhere around 10 or 20% of the code that they're developing in their research programs is being generated by the computer.
10 to 20% of the code inside the frontier labs written by the thing they are building. And that figure is what makes the rest of his timeline move.
That's called recursive self-improvement, is the technical term. So what happens when this thing starts to scale? Well, a lot.
Recursive self-improvement sounds like jargon. The shape of it is simple. The tool starts building the next version of the tool, and the loop tightens each turn.
One way to say this is that within 3 to 5 years, we'll have what is called general intelligence, AGI, which can be defined as a system that is as smart as the smartest mathematician, physicist, artist, writer, thinker, politician.
3 to 5 years for a system as good as the best human in nearly any field. Then he tells you exactly where those dates come from.
Okay, well, that's pretty interesting. I call this, by the way, the San Francisco consensus, because everyone who believes this is in San Francisco. It may be the water.
He's joking. He is also handing you the best reason to doubt him. A room agreeing with itself is not evidence. Hold on to that for the rest of this. The interviewer asks the obvious question. Watch what he refuses to argue about.
So it isn't just the programmers that are going to be out of work. We're all going to be out of work.
No, that's not a consequence. I'll come to that. But the reason I want to make the point here is that in the next year or two, this foundation is being locked in, and we're not going to stop it.
Not whether it's good, not whether we should, only that the foundation gets poured in the next year or two.
And this is the theory that there will be computers that are smarter than the sum of humans. The San Francisco consensus is this occurs within 6 years, just based on scaling.
6 years from the man who testified to Congress about the power grid this thing will need. And you already heard the line at the top of this video, they don't have to listen to us anymore. Then he uses a word that sounds ridiculous right now.
This is happening faster than our society, our democracy, our laws will address. And there's lots of implications. That's why it's underhyped. People do not understand what happens when you have intelligence at this level, which is largely free.
Underhyped, from a man with a book to sell. But look at what he means. Not that the demos get better than you think, that the price of an expert falls to almost nothing. Every institution you deal with was built when thinking was scarce and expensive. Schools, law, medicine, hiring, exams, all priced on that one assumption. His point isn't that machines get scary, it's that the assumption under everything stops being true. Here's the part most videos cut out. He argues against his own doom.
And by the way, on the jobs thing, everyone assumes that automation will eliminate jobs. If you look at the history of automation ever since the looms and 300 years ago, the jobs are changed, but more jobs are created than destroyed. In this case, you'd have to convince me that this time is different.
300 years of automation, and the jobs changed instead of vanishing. The honest answer, every earlier machine took muscle, then routine, and pushed people up into judgment. This one is pointed at judgment. There is no obvious floor above it to move to. That's an argument, not a proof. Neither man has the data yet. One more piece from Toronto, the one that explains his day job.
Imaginary. In the end of the day, no amount of essays and explanations can compete with what we see with our own senses, with our own two eyes. And especially with AI, the very smart, super intelligent AI in the future, there will be very profound issues about making sure that they say what they say and not pretend to be something else.
Making sure they say what they say and don't pretend to be something else. That's the polite version of a problem already in the lab write-ups, systems that behave differently when they think they're watched. You cannot check that by asking the system whether it is honest. So what do you do with any of this? His advice is smaller than you would expect, and it's the only thing he repeats. Use the thing, not the demos. Your own work until you have a feel for where it breaks. No essay beats that, including this one.
And in some sense, whether you like it or not, your life is going to be affected by AI to a great extent. And so looking at it, paying attention, and then generating the energy to solve the problems that will come up, that's going to be the main thing.
The line he opens the speech with is borrowed, and it is the whole point. You may not take an interest in AI. It is going to take an interest in you. One gave you the reason, the other gave you the dates. I would hold the dates loosely. The reason is the part I can't find a hole in. If you can find one, the comments are right there.